Have you ever wondered how you can stand out on Instagram, on social media with the flood of photos of cities around the world? I'm going to show you some really cool secrets here in this Lightroom on how to go from boring to amazing. So we are starting with this photo that I shot very early morning in the Louvre. And I'm going to transform this into one of my favorite photo of the year. And I'm going to show you some really cool secrets along the way. So first of all, you start by opening up the shadow all the way, and I bring down the highlights. That's going to look the photo very weird looking, but check this out. You hold down the Option key on your Mac or Alt key on Windows, and you move this to the left. And what you want to have is about 2 to 3% of pure blackness. You know, have you ever seen on TV, you know, if you go to Best Buy, you see TV that says true black? Well, that's what true black is, meaning black is black. And then the photo is going to reappear as I boost the white. And now we have a nice base, okay? But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take this a step further. I'm gonna add a bit of contrast to it, all right? And I kind of like the atmosphere of it, but I wanna give it a look. And I've been shooting a lot of film recently, and I noticed that film has a look to it, either a cold or warm look. So you're going to go to the color grading, and in the shadow, you're going to add a little bit of blue or a little bit of green, something like that. It's very subtle, but it just makes the photo that has a little extra look. And then you're going to go into green, in the highlight, and you add a little bit of warm in a green, in the highlights. So check this out, before and after. It just gives like a little dramatic look to the photo, okay? On this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to click on auto to make sure it's very straight. And I want to make this for, my screen. So I want to crop my photo in 16:9. So you go here on the crop, you see next to the lock here, you use 16:9. A lot of people don't know what that is. So, and then what do you want to do? You want to put more sky or less sky? I think in this case, I want to put a bit less skies because this sky is kind of boring. So I'm going to go like this. And maybe let's just zoom in a little bit. We've got a lot of pixels to work with. I think I kind of like that. Something like that. Okay, cool. This is the Louvre, such a beautiful monument. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I want to make the sky much more interesting. And so I'm going to do this in two phases. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select the sky. And I'm just going to lower the exposure on the sky like this a little bit. And maybe let's add a little bit of green, or I think I want to desaturate the sky a little bit, just a little bit. I don't like the color in the sky, so I'm going to take some colors out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on the plus, and I'm going to take what we call a linear gradient. So a linear gradient is so cool. You see now my mouse is like a cross, and I click and I drag. And when I click and drag, I get this sort of gradient. I want to make a big gradient, and I'm going to do it first. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to lower the exposure to like minus 0.95. Now, minus 0.95, that value is going to go at full strength from the top here to the red dot. And from the red dot to the white dot is going to be on a gradient. So the gradient can be small or the gradient can be big. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can go out of the photo and, out of the photo on the right side, like here, and you can see the gradient. So a small gradient is going to be very visible like that. And a smooth gradient is going to be a lot less visible like that. So I kind of want that. But the problem is that I only want this to affect the sky. Let's make it maybe a little bit more like this. And you see here, it's making this darker. If I go here, before, after, you see it's making the Louvre darker. And I don't want that. So there is a master trick here. That's probably my first secret of this video. You click these three dots, and you go intersect mask with sky. Boom. And when you do that, check this out. Now it only affects the sky and not the buildings anymore. Okay, that's a little too strong, but it was just to show you. Okay, we have a nice sensor dust here. So I'm going to go here. And by the way, I shot this with a Leica M11. I was testing the Leica M11, and a great camera. It was one of my first photo with it. And voila. Oh, I'm not going to use AI. I don't need to use AI in this one because I just want to erase that, and you don't need AI to erase a dust. So that should be good enough. Well, It's kind of, yeah, it's okay. It's kind of gone. Now, I want to make this photo way more dramatic and way more interesting. So what I'm going to do a master trick. And this is the real secret. I'm going to go from, it's called going from darkness. So I'm going to make the photo a lot darker. And I'm going to desaturate the photo a little bit because I don't want too much saturation. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to turn the city lights on. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take the first light here. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to add a radial gradient just in the middle. Now make sure the radial gradient is not too big. It's go inside of the lamp. Okay, and then you go all the way and you add exposure. And you just turn on the lamps. So maybe it's a bit strong, but that's fine. I'm going to show you a really cool trick where you can turn the city lights on and off. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in the lights, and it's great. Now, here's the master trick. You right click and you click duplicate. So you duplicate this one and you drag it and you hold down the spacebar to move and you put this on the next lamp. But you see it's too big because perspectives makes it that the further I go away, things are going to get smaller. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to right click, duplicate, and hold on the spacebar and go to the next lamp. And I'm going to do that for all the lamps. So I'm going to do that, in a pretty accelerated mode. I don't want to bore you with this, but you get the idea. But it's very important you always duplicate the lamp and you put it there. And I want to show you a little trick. You see here, I have right now with 100%. Let's go. You see, it's getting smaller and smaller. If I click here, you can choose to go. Let's go to like 200%, and I can go to 200%. That way, I am a lot more precise in what I'm doing. And it's very important again that you duplicate the same thing and you don't make it too big. It has to stay inside of the lamps. So on this one, I'm not going to do I'm just doing the ones which are kind of, these ones are like very small. I'm not sure I need to do this one, maybe this one. When I'm like at 200%, when it gets too tiny, I mean, you can, if you want, actually, I'm going to do it. But make sure you do all the big ones. The big ones are very important. Okay, so check this out. Now that the fact that we duplicated everything, if I lower, look at this, I'm turning the lights on and off. Isn't that crazy? Okay, but if the lights were on, we would get a bit of reflection here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another series of radial gradient. I'm going to make a big radial gradient. And on this one, I'm going to go much lighter. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of light here, just a tad, something, so it's hardly visible. And then I'm going to duplicate that and put this here, make it a bit smaller. And I'm going to keep it going all the way. Now, a little trick is when the lamps gets really close to each other, you can actually, here it's still big, but as I go further away, I can blend them together. You'll see in a minute. So like this, and then like these three, for example, I can sort of blend together. And the fact that I'm duplicating it, that's the good thing, is that I can adjust all the lamps, in one shot. And that's kind of cool. And it has to be kind of subtle. So you see, here I am now, and you see, let's put it like that. Okay, and let's do one more run. And just create a slight halo around the lamps. So like that, and make sure, by the way, I didn't show that to you, but make sure that the feathering of all these lamps here, the feather is actually, especially on this one, it was at 82 for the rest. This one, let's make sure it's at 100 for just a slight glow around, maybe a bit more, slight glow like that around the lamps. And let's go one more time. So, the big ones you can do as one by one, and as you get further away, you can make the circle go smaller. So here we are. This one, that's too much. And so you can see we can go individually, like before the lamps. Okay, well, now we have this pin, which is annoying. So what you can do to appreciate your work is, and to avoid having the pins, you can show edit pin. Make sure you press T in case that menu is not there. T is going to toggle on and back, and then you go to never. And now I can show you like before and after, you know, the spotlight at the bottom, before and after the lamps themselves, before and after the top sort of glow. Or you can click here and see all, look at this. This is the entire before dodge and burn. Isn't that crazy? It's insane. By the way, I have something called the Institute of Photography where I coach people one-on-one. I can take just a very few amount of people per month. But if you want to talk to me and we can see how I can get you to the next level, JT, one of my last students, won over 38 international awards after finishing the Institute. You can book a call with me and my team under this video. Anyways, one last thing I want to show you is that if you don't like that look, the sort of like, you know, dramatic look, you can create a virtual copy, and let's go black and white, and we can make it black and white. But then you have to go here and you have to reset this whole part, because you see it's not pure black and white. So you hold on the option key and you can say reset midtones, reset highlights, reset. And now I've got a pure black and white. On this black and white, I can push the dodge and burn even further. I can go here and add a little gradient at the bottom. Okay, let me put my pin back on to auto, and I just lower the exposure. And I want to add a bit of a glow over the Louvre, so I'm going to go here and add a radial gradient like that, and then add some exposure. But you see, it's going over the buildings again. We don't want that. We want it to go behind the building, kind of there was some light shining behind. So like this, you go 3 dot, intersect mask with select sky. And check this out. It's gonna, in real time, it's gonna mask, and the glow is always gonna go under the Louvre. And you can also, on top of adding exposure, you can also go all the way down here and add some minus clarity to make it really a sort of a glow. And voila. So we started here. This is the before. That's the black and white version. And that's the sort of color version. Pretty cool. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I have amazing videos coming up, and you will only see it if you subscribe. Otherwise, you will never see them. Thank you for watching.